Welcome back to another edition of the Washington Commanders post-game show. Yours truly, God's favorite host. Back again, a happy recap. 27 unanswered points for the Washington Commanders after being down 10-0. Rally back and suffocate the Chargers with their dominant defense and improve to 3-2 as Jaden Daniels returns home and defeats Justin Herbert again. Joined by my right-hand man, one half of the Founding Fathers, the Commanderlorian. And adoring a win, he loves to hear this song.
Those haters can't stand us. Left hand Commanders. We fight for RTC. Who are we? The Commanders.
Jam. Oh, jam.
How you feeling, my guy? I'll let you roll out and do your thing.
Hey, man, I feel good, man. I didn't feel the best going into this game, and something you said that I never thought any of us would say: dominant defense. We were literally down 10.
You got to use those buzzwords, Crevonte. They're cool with the kids now, with the YouTube and streaming community. So usually, if you're waiting for me to get in the studio, I'm trying to think of cool buzzwords to get the people to watch. So there you go, little backstage inside info.
Indeed. And that's what it was. The defense was dominant. I was very, very concerned about this defense going into this game, and they showed up. They showed up. It came to play, and it all started with a turnover. You see what happens when you force turnovers? You can change lives with turnovers, man. So even though we won the turnover battle 2-1. It was unfortunate. And Krosky, he really didn't fumble. He never really had it. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't the best handoff that he received from Jaden Daniels. So, and also it was hella penetration from the defense, from the Chargers defense. So he didn't even have a chance to, once he lost it, he didn't have a chance to get it back before he got hit. And then, then we lost the ball, and that was a momentum killer. We was concerned. I was concerned. I text you and say, that ain't good. that definitely ain't good. They get all the way down to the red zone. Johnny Newton sighting, tipped the ball, and Mike Sanderson was in the
Go Google it.
And Mikey Sanderson was there. Right place, right time. His another interception for him. He had an interception against the Falcons. So this is number 2 for him. And also Quan Martin forced the fumble earlier, and Marshawn Lattimore recovered it. I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" So, that was it. Like when you turn the ball over as a defense, it really rejuvenates the team, the whole team, really, and because the offense was looking flat. JD had to shake off the rust, and he settled in pretty much after that. And we went on our 27 point run, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, amazing game. When the defense plays well, this is what I can see. Like this is what I see for the Commanders when they play well. But we got to get more consistent on that.
Did you ever think there will be a time, Crevonte, that you guys go from the cardiac commanders to the smash mouth, dare I say, looking like the Baltimore Ravens with the Lamar Jackson run game, defense dominant, getting turnovers, getting pressure on the quarterback? And yeah, Jaden Daniels' homecoming missed the last 2 games, and knee brace didn't seem to make a difference for the brother.
No, early it seemed to, he was, like I said, he was kind of jittery earlier, and that was just, I think, him knocking on the rust, and him also thinking like, oh my God, this is my homecoming, I got to show out. So he was trying to do a little too much in the first half, prior to the scoring the 10 points, but he was able to settle in, and my gosh, just you run the football with my man Bill. I'm only a Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill. Yeah, the run, that's what I've been screaming for Cliff Kingsbury to do. Run the football. At one point in this game, he had like 9 yards to carry. It was absolutely crazy. But the combination of the run game by this by this young man here.
He was second Crevonte in yards per carry coming into the game, like you said, with 9 at one point in this game.
It's absolutely crazy. But shout out to the offensive line. Shout out to him. I want to say he broke like 6 tackles. Apparently that's the stat now, Byron. Tackles broke or whatever. I don't know. Broken tackles or whatever. He had 6. A good combination of offensive line and him bobbing and weaving. You know what I'm saying? Doing what he got to do. Clutch, break, accelerate. That's good. That's good. But that was a complete game. Even though it didn't start that way, but that turned out to be a complete game. Defense getting crucial turnovers at crucial moments, getting key stops, and the offense being able to run the ball and getting key explosive plays. Because shout out to Luke McCaffrey. My gosh, it's like he's making 1 or 2 plays every game. It's like, oh wow, yeah, we do got a McCaffrey on our team, don't we? But and also after when they had the gosh, what was that? The roughing the punter things flipped, around there as well. Because we were able to actually get to tie the game at halftime with that deep pass to Luke McCaffrey, another pass to Deebo Samuels, Matt Gay field goal. Great. And then momentum shifted, and I feel like momentum never really shifted back. It got kind of crazy after the fumble, but we were able to lock in and get a key stop on the goal line, which is absolutely great. So shout out to Joe Witt Jr. because folks was talking bad about him, and I was too. Got to put your guys in better positions, and he seemed to do that this game. So along with, because I think we scored 27. Then we scored 27 last week.
Yeah, 27 last week too. Yeah.
So we're looking like we can score in those high 20s, pushing 30, and defense get a couple turnovers. Yo, we're in every game. So I'm glad JD5 was able to come back and be effective. Not as effective, but when you're out for 2 games, you're gonna look a little rusty. But
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Go finish your thought.
My bad. So he was able to show out, and fourth down, the nice little rainbow to Debo at the end was like, I thought he was throwing the ball away, and I'm like, oh, he meant to do that because he's him. Shout out to Debo Samuels, man. He is really picking up the slack without Terry McLaurin. He's definitely been the guy on the offensive side of the ball. So shout out to Debo, continuing to show up and be consistent. JD5 getting in, getting out, healthy, and defense being wildly dominant with 2 turnovers after having their first one last game. Now we have 2 after this game. So this is good momentum going forward. And we're playing the Bears next week, to the scene of the crime, where it was like, oh, things are changing in DC with the what they call it, the Maryland Miracle, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, great game. Great game.
Let's hear from JD5 after the win.
Man, Jaden Davis here. I want to thank my fans, all the supporters coming out here and showing love, man. Got to win back home. Go to the chat. You heard them dubs in the chat, man.
Crevonte, you heard the Commanders fans coming through the TV as you were watching or listening to the game. Unlike here in Baltimore, where fans were leaving after halftime. Well, that's a whole nother story for another day.
Mm-hmm.
Having your leader back. And how about this, Crevonte? Chargers were 3-0, least penalized team in the league. Last week against the Giants, 15 penalties for 107 yards in a 21-18 loss. This week, 10 penalties for 85 yards and 3 turnovers. And their O-line looked conflicted. They were moving guys in, moving guys out. Beckton was in, then he was out.
Right.
The right tackle was jumping every play. I mean, you guys looked like you were the better team. And you out-coached him, it seemed, too, with the adjustments throughout the game. We talked about Joe Witt, Cliff Kingsbury, and Dan Campbell, they said, was heard in the locker room at the halftime, getting his guys ready, saying, keep fighting, keep fighting.
Yeah, that's right. Dare I say, he won the coaching battle against Jim Harbaugh, which I was not sure about going into this game. I think we checked the box on all the coaches.
Not a good day for the Harbaugh brothers. Not a good day.
No, you're absolutely right. Not a good day for the Harbaugh brothers. But it looks like it seems as though the Commanders checked all the boxes for the coaching, head coach, offense, defense. We checked all the boxes. And again, Dan Quinn, he's one of those guys where he's a great motivator and a great leader. So him getting the guys together at halftime was obviously, much needed, and they went out and they continued to punch, the Chargers in the mouth. And the Chargers would look like world beaters the first couple weeks. Seemed like they coming back down to earth, but again, the offensive line, if that offensive line ain't right, the team ain't right. So they're having pretty much having to shuffle all game. Like you said, Mekhi Becton was out. Joe Alt was out. I don't know what's his how long is he going to be out? Because I know he was out, I think, with an ankle.
Timetable. We just know it's an ankle injury.
Ugh. So yeah,
just the ankle. We don't know timetable.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But when the offensive line is not good, we have to take advantage of that. Our defensive line and defense as a whole has gotten better against the run compared to last year, but I was concerned about the pass rush. Von Miller had a sack and a half or 2 sacks, something like that. Dorrance Armstrong was in there, Deron Payne was in there, so I think we had about five sacks, and a whole bunch of pressures to go along with that. So that was a complete defensive effort, giving up 10 points. I want to say about 5 sacks, a whole bunch of pressures, and 2 turnovers. That is a great defensive game with the offense, with the potential that our offense has. Most games are winnable if our defense can continuously do that.
Real quick, Crevonte, I do want to show love to one of the receivers of this generation. You think about Mike Evans, you think about Keenan Allen. I mean, just route running extraordinaires, aficionados. He becomes the fastest player, and I had to fact check this, fastest player in NFL history, Crevonte, to reach 1,000 career catches. Keenan Allen, I mean, he's been on some good teams. Never really got to that Super Bowl yet, but he only had 58 yards today, but, he did most of this in the first quarter and a half. But what do you think about Keenan Allen's career, in retrospective, and charging, is it still a verb, Crevonte? Because remember, we thought maybe they were shedding it with Jim Harbaugh year 2, 3-0, beat the Chiefs 3-0 in the division. It ain't as easy as we think, ladies and gentlemen. It's a long NFL season.
Yeah. So for all the teams that have that verb, that's going on with it, like, we say that about the Falcons. We say that about the Chargers.
Ravens. We say the Ravens now.
Ravens are relatively new, but I know for sure the Falcons and the Chargers were a thing. You know who else we can put in there? Cardinals.
Cardinals, Jets. We can put a couple.
It's just some teams where it's like, they're doing
Giants, even the Giants.
Yeah. So it's hard to shake that. I think Jim Harbaugh probably can shake it at some point, but it seems like it's still lingering. So as it looks, they probably are not going to do it. They have not completely shook it off as of yet. So it's still very much a thing.
Real quick, Crevonte, I know you are feeling gay when you see Matt Gay. Are you feeling
hey.
Kicker? Are you feeling Dick of the Kicker? We love Dick of the Kicker, right? We love the Dick of the Kicker.
Is that his name for real?
Yes, we call him Dick of the Kicker. There you go.
Listen, man.
Special teams was great today, though. Got to add that in there.
I know, absolutely, and I'm so glad that they roughed Tressway. They made my man look crazy on a play that eventually didn't count because I forgot who that was. Was that wasn't McConkey, was it? Who returned it? But
it was McConkey because he was jumping over people. Yeah.
And jumped over my punter, which is crazy to get into the end zone. So I was like, "Ooh, they threw that flag." I was like, "This looks good," but it's all coming back because you roughed them. And yeah, man. Ever since then, man, it was all downhill for the Chargers, unfortunately. But listen, a couple weeks ago, I was ready to throw Matt Gay off the plane, like as it's taking off. But hey, man, he's doing all right. He's pretty much. I think he made all his kicks. So that's a good way. That's a good way to keep your job, man. That's definitely a good way to keep your job. So, he has his job for another week. Was that a couple field goals, 3 extra points? Listen, man, it ain't 4. We talk about last, it ain't 4 field goals, 2 and 3. More extra points than field goals is always good, and he made them all. So, yeah, 9 points. What they say that's 9 points total. Okay.
No better places to feel gay than Atlanta and LA. Just no better places in America. So there you go. He was 2 for 2, 3 for 3 on extra points. Tressway 2 punts. But look at this, Crevonte, 50-yard 0.5 average, 50.5 average. He got roughed. I forgot the rule. If you hit that plant leg, it's automatic 15 yards.
It's a wrap. It's automatically 15. 15 automatic first down. You did all this for nothing. So yeah. So I'm also glad he's okay because when you hit that leg, anything can happen. But Tressway, that's every day. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So he's as consistent as it comes at the punter position. So it looks like we had Luke McCaffrey with kick returning today.
Yeah, he had 30-yard average, and like you said, Crevonte, he makes 1 play a game, 2 plays a game that can help change the trajectory of the game. Because remember, y'all were deep in your own territory. That was a bomb, and that saved the drive, led to points.
Yep, absolutely. So Luke McCaffrey is looks like he's found his niche in special teams and every now and then in the on the offense. So I'm cool with it.
All right, let's get to that defense. Stops.
Hey, get him out. Mark, congratulations on we'll talk about the Colts soon, but congrats on your victory as well.
Defensively, real quick, Bobby Wagner, the OG, 14 tackles. Mikey with 9. Quan Martin with 9. I mean, Von Miller, sack and a half. Dorrance Armstrong making a name for himself, 2 sacks. Jacob Martin, half a sack. Jerzon Newton with a sack as well. What do you think about this defense, Crevonte, just getting better each and every week? And you didn't see the back of number 2's jersey. He even had 2 tackles.
Oh man, and he had a fumble recovery. Oh my gosh. So again, I was concerned about Marshawn Lattimore this game. Johnston didn't do much. He didn't do much this game. Now Keenan Allen, obviously, he's gonna make a bunch of third down catches, possession catches, moving the chain catches. So we kind of take that with a grain of salt. But a lot of times they were in zone. So being the vet he is, he knows exactly where the sticks are. He knows exactly where the holes are. So he just goes there, turn around. Herbert hits him. You know what I'm saying? So, like we said earlier, Keenan Allen is a route running technician. Like he does that very well. Arguably, probably the best, even at his age, probably the best receiver to run routes in the league. And defense being able to contain him, bottling up Johnston, and just not allowing Justin Herbert to look how he looked the first 3 weeks. Omari Hampton going out helped as well, because Omari Hampton was given some problems. He was given some problems early on, but he had an injury, and once he went out, the running game was not the same after that. So all those things help.
And let's go to you held the offense pretty much in check. What did you think about the O-line? You mentioned them a little bit earlier. They did a hell of a job today, only allowing 1 sack from this Chargers defense that was one of the better ones in the league.
The defense was definitely a concern coming in. But the crazy thing is, I think the offense is settling in. Like these 5 are settling in. Chris Paul may have found a new home. I still don't know. I got to do some research, but I don't know what's going on with Brandon Coleman. I don't know whose doghouse he's in, because last I checked, he wasn't hurt. So I don't know what's going on, but Chris Paul is fitting in nicely at left guard. And before we know it, a couple weeks, Sam Cosmi be back at right guard, and Andrew Wiley's not playing terrible. So I'm liking this offensive line more and more as the season goes on. They're looking more and more stout, more and more solid. And then I think we're only going to get better once Sam Cosmi comes back, because now it's not like, oh my God, we have a weak side. Because Josh Connolly, listen, he went through the gauntlet the first few weeks of the year, first couple weeks, and now it's like, well, he didn't went through the worst part of it. Now it should be all uphill from here, right? And he's playing very, very well. So I really like what I'm saying from his offensive line. And again, I give them kudos. Bill, yes, I'm only a Bill, had a great game, but I give that to the offensive line, man. Like, he's breaking tackles out there, but the offensive line initial push is very, very productive. And great offensive line play usually means great offense and great team play.
5.8 per carry, 163 on the ground, 2 touchdowns, as mentioned. And you pretty much, like I said, when Amari and Hampton went out, that kind of changed the tide as well. Let's look at the quarterback. JD5's back. This offense under Cliff Kingsbury, 15 to 26, 231, 1 touchdown, only sacked once. And I believe he becomes the fastest player to have over 4,000 pass yards and over 1,000 rush yards. So there you go.
Hey, whoa, shut. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
That was some stat I saw. Yeah, crazy.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, Cliff Kingsbury, once he gets in his bag, he's really in his bag. And really, once that running game gets going, we are pretty tough to stop. And mind you, no Scary Terry. And he hasn't really been scary this year, so I'm just calling him Terry. But no true number 1 receiver, and running game looking crazy. JD5 obviously just hit a milestone, and we look like a well-oiled machine, especially when we don't have any penalties that hinders us. So shout out to Cliff Kingsbury. He seems to be settling in as well, with calling his offense and being more comfortable with what he has. So I'm cool. I'm definitely cool with it. But man, once we get Sam Cosby back and Terry McLaurin back, oh man, the offense may take another step forward.
Yeah, there it is. First player in NFL history with 4,000 pass yards and 1,000 rush yards in first 20 career games. And you saw it today, Crevonte. When they thought they had him, he got away. Extended plays, extended drives. He missed a couple throws, but you saw him change the cleats. We talked about it. Got Jalen Lane the ball, and then really just settled in. It was like they said on broadcast. He made a couple of the layups, and then he was able to make a half-court shot to Luke McCaffrey and slam dunk it home with the touchdown drive.
Man, he was not feeling the cleats, was he? He immediately went to the sideline, took them off, and was like, "Hey, man, I'm not feeling nothing. None of this was going to." Immediately went to the sideline, was like, "Yo," took it off, and yeah, it seemed to have shifted, how he was playing and all that. So we love it. We absolutely love it. He make any adjustment he need to make to get us to the results that we have.
And Dan Quinn coaching, you give all of them an A, it looks like today.
Yeah. It was looking shaky in the beginning, but at the end of the day, I think everybody checked the box. Head coach Quinn, A. Cliff Kingsbury, A. And defense, A plus, man. A plus. You got pressure, you got sacks, you got turnovers. You held a damn good quarterback to 10 points. I think the defense gives an A plus, man.
You see Jaden Daniels returning home. It's funny how that worked out. He was hurt, comes back, first game back is against, the Chargers in his hometown, basically. West Coast guy. You saw Mama Daniels. They showed her on TV. These are the type of wins that can propel you, Crevonte, hopefully. And the Eagles lost today, which we'll get to. So the division isn't out of reach either.
Eagles did lose today. Yeah, that was very interesting. So, the division is still very much in reach. The Eagles have some turmoil, internal turmoil. I knew it'd be all well and good until they start losing, because obviously AJ Brown has made his feelings known. I heard Smith, was feeling the way. But it's all well and good when you're winning. But once you start losing, oh man, that it comes down like a pile of bricks. So we'll see what the Eagles look like moving forward. And we'll get to that game later. But great win for the Broncos coming from that side of the country to this side and getting a win. Yeah, that's big time.
All right, Crevonte, we continue the primetime elite game matchups. Monday Night Football, you return home, and we get a matchup of number 1 and number 2. Caleb Williams returns back to D.C. Jaden Daniels, like you said, the Maryland Miracle. Hail Maryland play last year, which kind of birthed this here broadcast, the Flex Zone Washington Commanders coverage.
Yeah.
And it's on Monday night. So post-game details to be determined. We'll figure all that out. But Monday Night Football, Bears coming off a bye, 2-2, 3-2. This is a big game for both teams.
Man, I'm concerned because we don't do well on Monday nights. So I'm just concerned about that in general. But this is a great game to, have as a momentum push into that game. Get an extra day, extra day to prepare. It is the scene of the crime from last year, which, like you said, birthed the post game. Because it was like so crazy. It was like, man, just hop on and let it all out. And then it was like, yo, we here now. So I like our chances, but Monday nights, I feel very weird about Monday nights with this team. But it's gonna be a great matchup, man. Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams seem to have they seem to be getting better as the season goes on, which is Not good for us at this moment, but I still like our chances in that game.
All right, Crevonte, let's get ready to go around the NFL. But real quick, let the people know who just joined us what they need to do if they're watching right now while I get that together.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you could be notified when we do our pre-games for the Commanders, which is either on Thursdays or Friday mornings. Who knows? You never know. But you hit the bell, you'll know as soon as it happens. And of course, notified immediately after game to get our instant reactions, good, bad, ugly. This is one of the good weeks. It's no ugly at all. And just a sprinkle of not so great. So this is one of the good weeks. So tap in.
All right, let's get to. We talked about the Thursday night game. We'll go to let's do this. Let's go overseas. We started in London. Vikings 5-0 in London. Crevonte,
They're gonna stay
Justin
there.
Jefferson. They was in Ireland. Now they in London. 5-0 overseas in London, and Dylan Gabriel got his first start, and Mr. Quinshon Judkins over 100 yards. Vikings win though.
They should have won this game. Dylan Gabriel played well for his introduction. But the Vikings better had found a way to win this game, because that would have been a crazy loss for the Vikings. But it came down to pretty much the end. Carson Wentz did not turn into Carson Wentz. Like, don't really want to see it, Wentz. He was regular Carson Wentz, and he did just enough to pull out the victory. Justin Jefferson had a pretty good game as well. He had over 120. He didn't get to the end zone, but I think he had over 120 in this game.
123.
There it is. So
and Crevonte, he has the most receiving yards per game at like 90. And I think the next closest person is like Megatron Calvin Johnson at like 81, 82. It's crazy.
Yikes. Yeah, well, he's one of them ones. No matter who's that quarterback, he's one of them ones. But Dylan Gabriel played well. He played well for his first showing, but the Vikings came out and pulled it out just at the end. But that was a better head win game.
Yes. All right, Mark, drop those horse emojis in the chat. The Raiders walked into Indy and they got their ass whooped today. A lot of blowouts today. 40-6. They are 4-1. Jonathan Taylor 3 touchdowns.
Finish him, Daddy.
I mean, right now the Colts may be the favorites in the AFC South.
Crazy. It's weird to say, because I didn't see this coming, because we were talking about Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones fighting for fighting for the quarterback spot, and we saw both of them play, and in a good way, which is very, very crazy. The Jaguars play tomorrow night, if I'm not mistaken. They're pretty close as well, but the Colts look really, really good, man. It's scary. Like, all right, these guys may be for real. They probably for real. Shout out to Jonathan Taylor, Daniel Jones, Michael Pittman. Like, guys are getting it. Guys are definitely getting it. But the Raiders, it's not looking great. It's not looking great over there now.
Real quick shout out to Nick Cross. I know Maryland had a tough loss yesterday, but Maryland Terp doing big things for the Colts. And real quick, Crevonte, they get to play the Cardinals next week. They'll beat them. They get to play the Chargers. They get to play the Titans. They get to play the Steelers and the Falcons over the next couple of weeks. They could win 3 or 4 out of those 5 or 6.
Sure.
They could get to 8 or 9 wins minimum. They'll probably get to double-digit wins maybe.
Nah, for sure. And mess around and win a division, which is very, very important. And being in the playoffs and Lord, who knows what happens once you get there. But the Colts are playing outstanding football right now with the 40-piece.
My brother, you called it. I should have jumped on with you. I had a feeling this could happen. But the Saints, Miss Hayes, stand up. New Orleans 504. And everybody down there in every ward, 1 through 9. I don't know how many wards are. All awards stand up, damn it. You gotta win 26-14. Spencer Rattler wins his first game. And 4 straight turnovers on 4 straight drives for the Giants.
Listen, man, they was coughing that ball up. I don't know what was going on, but I felt weird about this game. And really what made me switch was no Malik Neighbors. I just felt as though at some point they're gonna run into a wall offensively. The Saints just have to keep it close. You know what I'm saying? And a couple turnovers, one was returned for a touchdown. And I was like, oh, okay. And Spencer Rattler, first win in his career. Great win at home. Definitely had some home cooking going on. Giants defense got a little tired. You know, they really only got a defensive line. So once they tired, it's a wrap. So shout out to the Saints. Definitely shout out to the Saints. Dart looked good, probably like for the first quarter and a half. And then, you know, he kind of came screeching back down to earth.
The Cowboys, Crevonte, we wrote them off. I'm guilty. I know I wrote them off. They had the tie last week, and they don't have a good defense, but their defense somehow still plays good enough. 37-22. They're 2-2. And dare I say Dak in the MVP conversation? I know people aren't going to put him there, but he's playing really well without CD. And young YN Crash Out Pickens is looking good. He's going to get paid probably by the Cowboys. Probably by the Cowboys.
So Dak is going to have the numbers to go up against anybody. Unfortunately, he's not going to have the wins. But yeah, his numbers are going to be crazy. Like he may have like a Joe Burrow like year from last year, but I don't think he's going to have the wins to legit be in the conversation. But what he's doing with that Cowboys offense is crazy. They put up 40 in the tie against the Packers, but 37 against the Jets. Like they seem to put up numbers in bunches, and I don't know what their average is, but it's probably somewhere in the high 20s or maybe even 30. And the Jets, listen, you can't write off anybody that plays the Jets. The Jets are still winless if I'm not mistaken.
The only team, let me say it again. The only team in the NFL without a win. I don't know if this mic is on, but there you
go. And that's not good for Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn, if they don't get I don't know what their season, what the rest of their schedule looks like, but if they go like 0-10, it might be curtains. We got the Broncos, Panthers, Bengals, Browns. Okay. And the Panthers not no slouches. And we'll talk about them in a little bit, but the Broncos, I think that's an L. The Panthers, that could go either way. Bengals can go either way, but it's none of them you look at it and be like, yeah, the Jets could win that game. Maybe. But by Thanksgiving, you know, they might have one win or two, which is not great for Aaron Glenn. They might try to get my man out of there sooner rather than later, which is not good.
Broncos beat the Eagles, keep them under 20 points. Like you mentioned, Crevonte, people talking about they're not getting the ball enough might want to be traded. Like you said, this team was close to imploding last year, but they righted the ship, if people, remember, before they went on that run. And then this year, we don't know, man. Saquon ain't doing too much. The defense is got a little bit on the secondary tip.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, until someone beats them, there's still a chance, but interesting game today in Philly.
Big, and I think we were talking about this maybe in the preview, maybe even in the preview of our show on Monday, but I said this would be a great step in the right direction if the Broncos would go in Philadelphia and still a win. Because they were all up against it. They're on the road, had to come from, west to east, and the Eagles undefeated. Philadelphia is not the easiest place to play. And Philadelphia sports kind of took didn't do too well this past week. With the Phillies and the Eagles, but the Broncos looked like they stuck there. They got grounded. They really stuck their foot in and was consistent on the defensive side of the ball. And crazy enough, they were down, I want to say, 17-3
Yep.
at one point, and then they
18 points in the fourth quarter to nothing for Philly.
Yeah, that obviously that's not great, but it just shows that the defense of the Eagles can be had, and the offense is not as dynamic as it was last year. The names are still there, but they deal with some injuries as well. So and I don't think they did the tush push at all in this game. I guess they never really had the opportunity to do it. But Bo Nix, that's a building character game. Like, that's how you get through going on the road in Philadelphia, handing the Eagles their first L. That's a big time win for the Broncos, and we'll see how the Eagles regroup after that, because again, it's all well and good when you're winning, but once you start losing, all the extra stuff start coming out, like the wide receiver mishaps that are going on.
Panthers beat the Dolphins. Panthers a lot better at home than on the road, 27-24. Rico Dottle, remember him with the Cowboys? 206 yards.
Who?
Yeah, Dottle, their running back last year, leaves the Cowboys, and he plays great.
Go Google it.
Panthers get a win, 27-24. Dolphins are probably done.
What was that? The Dolphins were winning like the entire game until the end. And shout out to Bryce Young for, again, just like I said with Bo Nix, persevering, man, because it was ugly. It was ugly for, I want to say, about 2.5, 3 quarters for Bryce Young and the Panthers, and they just kept hanging around, kept making plays, showing up on defense here and there. And my God, that's a gut punch. That is a truly a gut punch. The Panthers really stole that game that the Miami's really had in their grasp. And the Dolphins are probably done. How many wins do they have? They got one, right?
One.
It's another. Mike McDaniel might be gone by Thanksgiving too.
All right, Crevonte. In the 410, it was a legit homicide for the Ravens. Fans were leaving. Fans were booing, throwing stuff. 1-4. Worst start since 2015, where they went 5-11. Most yards given up through 5 games in franchise history. Most points given up through.
Yeah.
And also, it is the 30th year celebration. So happy anniversary.
The anniversaries have not been treating you guys too well. 10, 20, and 30 haven't been the greatest of years. But the Texas old y'all won from Christmas. What was it, Christmas?
It was Dynasty Bowl, yes, sir.
Last year, I think that was on Netflix too. So I'm sure they did not forget that game. So yeah, they definitely owed that to y'all. But yeah, man, the Ravens have not been playing well. I don't know if they giving up on the points, but they gave it 40 a couple times this year. So that's not great. And with all the injuries, with Roquan, Lamar, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, that like these injuries like kind of came out of nowhere. And kind of came all at once. So the saving grace is that the Steelers are that the AFC North is not great. The Steelers, so they had a bye, so they couldn't add a win, but they kind of won with everybody pretty much losing. So that's the saving grace, is that like the Steelers are not world beaters, but they are ahead by a couple games, and it's gonna be hard to catch them when Lamar and everybody comes back.
All right, Crevonte, in Arizona, it happened again for the Cardinals. I got a little play here. I don't know if you guys saw what happened.
Oh my gosh. What is this, bro? Like, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. And was that L'Jarius Sneed?
Titans beat the Cardinals 22-21.
How? They was up 21-6. Man, listen, this I wonder if anybody could look this up. I wish we had our own analytics department, but we gotta do it ourselves. How many points have been scored in the fourth quarters? Like that, we gotta look that up because games be looking one way going into the fourth quarter and things just explode. I don't know what it is or what's going on, but there's been a lot of points being scored in these fourth quarters. And the Titans, I absolutely did not see this coming. I saw the wild play where he threw the pick and then a fumble, and then they fumble and end up scoring. I saw that play. I was like, I don't know how that happened. But them oh snap. Is this it? Is this it? This the one? Oh snap, here you go. Avoids a sack. And he throws an interception. And somehow he fumbles. And then he kicks and right place, right time. You gotta be kidding me. Like, how does that, like, what does that touchdown count as? For whoever, I don't even know, like, who recovered that, like, and what did that count for in his stats? It wasn't a rush, it wasn't a receiving, like, I don't even know what that means, but yeah, somehow, some way, the Titans pulled out a victory. I did not see that coming. And the Cardinals,
It was called fumble recovery. Fumble recovery.
Okay, is that in a different section? I don't. But yeah, it was definitely some weird things happening in this game, but that the Cardinals be giving it up, man. At the end, they almost gave it. I think when they played the Panthers, they almost gave that up, or did they? No, they almost gave it up, I think. But the Cardinals be giving it up at the end of the game,
yes.
And it's ugly.
Yes.
Absolutely ugly. So Titans get their first win. Crazy.
Man, what a game it was in the Great Northwest. 38-35. The Buccaneers, no Mike Evans.
That hurts.
They get a win. No Bucky Irvin. Ugh, man, tough win. But Baker Mayfield continues to be clutch. Man, see the Buccaneers 4-1.
And shout out to Mbuka. Shout out to Baker Mayfield for, just making it happen because they were up against it. Now, granted, the Seahawks have not been playing great at home, but for the Buccaneers to go from east to west, and they controlled most of this game. The Seahawks did continue to fight, but just giving it up at the end, man. Again, these points. Look at all the fourth quarters and these points in the fourth quarters. It's just been absolutely crazy, and the Bucs had a walk-off field goal. So shout out to their special teams for, getting it done. But the Seahawks had the lead at the very end, but the Bucs did score a touchdown to tie, and then got the ball back and was able to kick a field goal. So shout out to the Bucs for going to the 12th man and getting a victory.
Also, one of the furthest flights you can take, Crevonte, is from that part of Florida. Well, obviously Miami, but that part of Florida all the way to Seattle. That's as far as you can pretty much go on the map, by the way, too. So the travel, going to the 12th man, getting that win. How did the Browns let Baker? I still don't get that. Like, what? Why did y'all let him go?
Listen. It's some organizations that do that just aren't great at developing. Browns, the Jets come to mind when guys leave them and get better. Honestly, the Giants. The Giants could probably go in that category too. Folks leave them and go on to do great things. I used to say that for my Washington teams in general. Folks leave the Wizards, folks will leave the Redskins at the time and just go on to do great things. It's just some organizations that just have that nasty stench, about them. And Baker Mayfield for sure has found a new home.
Lions Bengals. This maybe was closer than we thought, but the Lions, after that stinker in Green Bay week 1, they won 4 in a row, over 30 points each game, and their defense doesn't look too bad either. 2 new coordinators, no problem.
Yeah. Again, shout out to what's the guy's name? Kelvin. Is it Shepard?
Shepard. I think Shepard.
Shepard. Defensive coordinator for the Lions, man. Looking good out there, man. Definitely looking good. This was a game that we figured that obviously they would win, probably and win by double digits. But again, it did seem a little closer, I guess, towards the end. Again, towards the end, look how many the Bengals put up 20. What's that? 21.
21 in the fourth
21
quarter.
in the fourth quarter, man. These fourth quarters have been, crazy, but the Lions, handle business for the most part and got the W. And the Bengals they're not gonna have too many wins this year either. Oh, we got
I'm talking, and I'm on mute. Whiteout game, Sunday Night Football, Crevonte, Patriots, Bills, 0-0 so far. I think 2 straight turnovers. I think the Bills turned it over, then the Patriots turned it over. So back and forth early on. I think this might be a low-scoring game, but the Bills probably will win it.
Yeah. The Bills should win this game. But it is a divisional game. The Patriots are a feisty team, and they're not going to lay down to the Bills. And also, the Bills' defense is not great, even though seems like they have a turnover, but the defense can be had. So there will be opportunities for Drake May and the Patriots to score. They just need to take the opportunities and keep this game close. In the end, who knows what happens? So if they're able to keep it close, who knows what happens in the end. But the Bills should come away with a victory. They are the better team after all.
Monday night, Chiefs, Jaguars. This is a good game. Jaguars actually have a really good defense. And the Chiefs, don't look now. If they get to 3-2, they're right there with the Chargers and with the Broncos yet again.
How crazy is that, man? Just you snap your fingers. Thanos snapped his fingers and it all goes away. The entire lead that the Chargers had just goes completely away if they can get this victory. And again, as they get healthy, the offense, will get better. They already have a top tier defense. And the Jaguars defense is pretty good too. So yeah, I do think that game will be good, and that game will be close. I think it'll be a 1-score game. Whoever wins, but I'm gonna lean Kansas City because obviously Patrick Mahomes is still the quarterback. So yeah, I'll lean and win, but that game may be a low-scoring game as well too.
I think that's all we got, Crevonte. As you see, Mama Daniels in there and others greeting JD5, as you can see.
The squad is up there. Yes. Is that Juju?
Yeah, it is. Nice how they snuck that in there. Yeah.
Juju up in there, and Juju, you hear she taking the year off?
Well, we can do that when you make.
So you getting that NIL money different, man. So she's actually taking a year off from basketball to prepare for the WNBA. So I was like, huh. Well, I was looking forward to seeing her play another year in USC, but and it's not like injury or anything. She's still rehabbing, her injury, but she's like, yeah, I'm gonna miss out. I'm missing out this season. I was like, oh, that's unfortunate, but yeah, of course she made an appearance.
All right, Crevonte, that's all we got. My game next week against the Bears. Let the people know what to do to keep up with us and what we'll be doing this week.
Tap in, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, tap in for our previews somewhere between Thursday and Friday. Check out our post games for the Commanders and the Ravens. Despite how the year is going, we're going to be consistent with that. And yeah, you'll find something you like. There's so much going on during the week, but definitely check in with the Commanders previews and post games because they're entertaining, and we do our best to entertain and be informative. Yes, Mark, throw your ones up.
That's right. Throw your ones up. Acknowledge us. Only place Crevonte give you that Commanders coverage and sports coverage how you want it.
When you need it.
If you're watching on X, come on over to YouTube, subscribe, vote on the poll, let us know who's the player of the game, become a member. hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the bell. We were live earlier, pregame show, did a postgame show. Commanders postgame show now. We got Monday Night Raw tomorrow. We have the flagship podcast tomorrow. Tuesday, 2 shows on at the same time. Wednesday, I don't know if we have anything. Saturday, we're up at 8 a.m. watching wrestling. We got Maryland football. We got Ravens. I got a wedding to attend. We got a lot going on. So it's going to be a busy week, but we'll get it going. We'll get it out. Commanders on Monday, so we'll probably do something for that as well. Of course, preview for that as well. So I think that's all we got for the right-hand man.
Merlin.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. That was tough.
Man.
Can't have nice things. Yeah. Very crazy week of the NFL and college football, to say the least. UCLA beating Penn State, Crevonte, just James Franklin, man. Unfortunately.
It's your fault, man. It's your fault. It's been all downhill. They were favored by 24.5 points.
Something told me they wasn't going to cover. I didn't expect them to lose, but I didn't think they was going to cover. But Nico M. Aliava, he finally showed up, I guess. So we'll see.
Crazy.
Oh, man. Yeah, we'll be live tomorrow talking all about the NFL, recapping everything. And as always, Crevonte will be with me, one half of the Founding Fathers, the senior producer, of course, captain of the Goofy Ship, and the Commanderlorian. I'm sure a lot of goofiness coming up. A certain someone was sentenced this week, so maybe we'll be talking about that. I don't know.
Yeah. As y'all say, as Roger would say, the diddler was sentenced, and I've seen a lot of wild pictures. Byron, I already had cue up the pictures of the different drawings that these wild folks had on this here internet. It was absolutely wild.
I think that's all we got, Crevonte.
That's it, bro.
The primetime edition of the Washington Commanders postgame show. Thank you for joining us. Commanders rally from down 10-0, 27 in a row, and they get to 3-2, and we'll be back to do it again throughout the rest of the season. I believe the next 1 p.m. kickoff is until like December, Crevonte, with all the primetime games.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot of late nights, early mornings. So there you go. We'll be here. Hopefully into January, though, at least for one of the teams in the Maryland area. So we'll see.
Fair enough. Let's get there.
We'll see. For Crevonte, Bebe, yours truly, God's favorite host, Mark, Brother Thoughts, everybody in the chat, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the subscriptions, the love, and support in the chat as well. We're out of here. Have a good night, everybody. Still nothing in Buffalo and New England. Got playoff baseball as well, so stay tuned for that as well. Crevonte and I will be back with you throughout the rest of the season as always here on the Flex Zone Podcast. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for a brand new week of content. Peace.
It's almost like my world has disappeared. One step in the wrong direction, going nowhere, seeing my reflection. My time has burned away. Running through the night, we're on the run tonight. We're on the run. Those haters can't stand us. Left hand